Let's take you back to the Volta region, and residents of Anyako in the Keta municipality are calling for urgent resettlement from their current location, which has been heavily flooded. Now, residents are literally living in water, with most homes inundated and residents reeling under the impact. Now, the once vibrant community, with a size of about 30 standard football parks put together, has since reduced to only about 8. Now, the residents have blamed the recent Akosombo Dam spillage on their predicament. We have more on this report.
A number of these people at Anyako are reeling under the water, basically because the excess water that was let go from the Akosombo Dam has now entered the estuary at a point at Fuveme where the river and the lagoon meet at a point, and excess water entering into the lagoon elevates the water above a certain level and spilling over all the way into people's home here in the Keta municipality. So in essence, one would think that the spillage from the Akosombo Dam only ends at the three Tong districts, but no, it extends all the way to the Keta municipality, to the Angloga district. Entire town was so big, but over time the river keeps narrowing on them, and this has been left with a very smaller size of town, and even this one, the water is still chasing them out. As to where they would have to go to is another thing they would have to contend with in the near future. But in the interim, we see a tap over there, and we see gallons in the water. Probably that is their source of drinking water. We see the coal pot with charcoal or fire being set to prepare some meal. This is a house of one elderly woman whom I can say is in her 70s almost, and she has sore on her leg, and this is where she lives. Almost 70% of the house is flooded, and we have a stake erected in the middle of the compound in the water with a red cloth tied to it to signal the fact that that place is quite deeper and anyone walking in the water should take precaution. But one quite interesting thing to note in this house is that there are fishes swimming all around, and this is not a fish pond but excess water coming from the lagoon, occupying the entire space, leaving this compound totally inundated, and the owner has no option than to now walk on a strip of pavement right in front of a house. So I realize you have some sore on your leg. What happened?
Hot oil poured on it when I was frying shell. We call it adza. Then the oil poured on my foot.
Didn't you take it to the hospital? Yes. Because the wound has become so large.
Yes. I went to Bota, our Anyako Health. So the madam wrote me later. Then he sent me to Abo. I went to Abo. I was attending Abo.
But how come it has deteriorated this bad?
Pardon?
How come it has become this bad?
This one? It is not healing. It is not healing. So I went to Chama Road Hospital. When going to Chama hospital, some hospital is there. I went there for 7 times. Occasions, it is not healing. So I come home for the herbs.
If you would need help, what kind of help do you need? So let's say you need about 5 million cedis to get a nurse to be dressing your wound.
Yes.
So economically, how are you surviving?
Through this small store and then my salary.
How much is the salary?
8 million.
800 Ghana.
Yes.
Your pension money is 800 Ghana.
Yes.
Is that enough for you?
I am just managing it.
Yes, a woman is setting another trap for fishes using a bottle, a beer bottle, a wine bottle, and a number of bigger bottles that ordinarily would have contained wine or other beverages. But that is to her advantage. She submerges her body fully into the water, reaches to the ground, and sets a trap using the bottle. She's been doing this ever since the whole water spillage started. And she's been able to catch a number of fishes, mainly smaller tilapia fishes, that she's able to fry, process it properly, and then take it to the market on a market day. And this fish, I wouldn't be surprised, ends up on your plate in Accra. I beg bank, can you know?
Agba karamalu.
Kadema leko no na chan.
Achamere na ohaya. Echi ava. Ona ba kpakaka.
Dine chan be eya.
Ya.
Ne nim ye na afi.
Oro chamere asuna gbo ohaya. Asuna gbo ohaya.
Makpo be ne gegede chi ame e utakata gegede me. Leke ne ko mi.
Maridon. Tamarong re ononyongchi na ngbona so. Na matakpla mako. Ala maderi e fa ngbona so. Ete mariadon.
Nuka tonyak plezam ne le menye feed bubu areka.
Na mazak plo. Mote kpoga va edu agaram. Na kotupa flo datoma mo gagagaram.
Ale echia no chan va ya.
Awo. Achia amie. Chiashi achia va ro. Na mianchi nye. Ta achia va remashiam. Ta nye ria domie.
Ma leko ko fudena wo dia dodo.
Aga ta fumana mi. Ta mami chianshi mi.
Do ya womnela nuka kwehia no.
Yang ye hiana ko enye tojivu. Platupa.
No bagbajo. Anjagara chaishi.
Anjega chama. No janya for forget.
Oh janya. Au pogo ju fugachi.
Oh. No puchi aba bubu kogene wa do e. Bubu kogene. We are going to the mother of this girl, and she's been leading us on the way to the house. And she said we are going to walk in water. That's the mother going into her room, and she tells us the water has occupied.
Achia remia ikwe hokoma katana mimia bango blan. Tana mabubu ba fi kamlo mi vele.
Tell kana wafi the child.
Achia nyanya. Da mi kona nya kleche shi bord. Koko no kumi chikpang kleche shi apiko no koko.
If you can da baro fifia.
Aba makwe dare apo ma fi mera. Maro.
Yo kan meka bonale.
O daviara la fi me gbo mo ve mlona.
That ne ehiane na na nuka jimne lebe no ko venami.
Okay, mate. Kama teyo shi. Ami ko te ko pagbara na mi ko. Okay, pagbara na mi. Tana vinyo wanchi kata rokova ka kanyeto ya fopo makata rokova obi. Tanorin ko shimere.
This is still within the Anyako enclave, but they have other sub-communities, and we are within one of them. And so, my little girl, Davi, bye-bye. I am crossing this water that is literally the Keta Lagoon that has spread all the way into the community and by extension affecting the school as well. So students, though they are able to walk in the community and do as if nothing is going on, they are also having to deal with this. So I see a student who said he's completed in this was the school he attended. Hey, me school time, we are do Jolafia.
Rakwa. Okay.
Hey, ne do fian come na.
Rakwe kun makwadora ko harake.
Nkata my school ajigo.
Raku magbona ajige na nya result agbo.
The result of moto hareko.
Okay.
Okay. Gake hey me chi am zon platform pupula mafu dem na me.
Rakwe.
Ta suku kanye.
Raku Boji.
Boji nuka.
Boji MA.
Okay. So this is Boji Municipal Assembly Education, and you see a woman also standing there in the water, obviously, because the wall she is standing in is also buried.
Part of Seva is flooded. So when you are driving in a car to that end, because of part of it is flooded, the car cannot go into the town itself unless you drop on the way and then walk down there.
And how are you able to, for instance, today being Saturday, those who have their relatives to bury in those communities, how are they able to convey the body to those places?
They cannot, because last week we brought our sister here. The mother is from there. Some known family. They formerly stayed at Kita, known as Zane family. It was a great family, and that is where they hail from. We wanted to send our sister to the mother's place before we come back to bury her at our place here in Anyako, but because of this flood, we couldn't send her.
Abidodo ewe. Aba danya batama ya ko jima ko lava foji da domava. Yo como ko ira aboy o ma yevu onya nesio. E o do bia no ko abia wa to akajina.
En mi na fi nwa fi abebe nenye.
O ma jija ndolo. Kakanya de jume kama tatam.
Nenye la so fi
Aba 50.
Gake nad motor do odo mi agboklo penu na na do a.
Odo na na ashima karaka po.
Ashima kana na ke do va do amana po.
Mo va na fia. Aka odo mi o ha mi wo mi to pa ha bobo ala kata office la ni na la kata jalu ko ko la.
Ti bana chula fia do hu.
Wa keta. O kona huve.
Abakomi. So we are now returning to the bank of this water, and to be sure that we return someday, maybe with some relief items from our cherished listeners and viewers. This is the extensive coverage of the floods by Citi Newsroom and Citi Prime News.